Hello everyone and welcome to Tuesday's Toolbox. Today we are going to go over the Stamp-A-Majig. I showed the Stamp-A-Majig in my Happy Boo to You video, and I had to fast forward because it was so long that you didn't really get to see a lot, and so I wanted to go ahead and show you one of my most favorite tools, and that is the Stamp-A-Majig. It comes with this little T-square piece, and it comes with an image sheet. Now, I've seen some people, when they have a wood-mounted stamp, they'll go ahead and stamp the image onto vellum and have a permanent image sheet. But this is really great because you stamp it on and then you use it and then you wash it off, and I will show you that. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples of how I've used it. So to show you how I've used it, I have this card I made for a friend of mine who's having a birthday this month. I used the Frightening Feline stamp, and I used my Stamp-A-Majig to place the stamp around on the card front, and this is that Illuminate ink if you're wondering where I got silver ink from. Of course, you saw the Happy Boo card that I made last week. Again, I had the boo stamped on the image sheet, and then I lined it up and stamped them along, and that way I could place them just where I wanted to, so it's really good for that. Another use that I've done with it is on this card. This here, Warm Winter Wishes, is from this stamp set, Winter Wishes, and it's in the Holiday Mini, but this is all one stamp. That's Warm Winter Wishes. It's all one phrase, and it's on a block, and it's this long. I don't like to cut my stamps in half or divide up the words. I do know some people who do that. So what I did was I stamped each one on my image sheet, so Warm Winter Wishes, and with black, and then I just washed off the stamp, and then I went in with my marker, colored out the word I wanted, placed it, the image sheet here, stamped, and then I did that for each one, and then that way I got all my W's to line up perfectly. For some people that matters, for other people it doesn't. And so I'm going to show you examples of each of that. And then the last one is also, I've mentioned in a previous video where I have had quite a lot of work done on my arm. I've had 2 surgeries. I broke both of these bones, and you can see where I had 4 screws. I had about 9 pins in here. I've had orthoscopic surgery in this joint, and then of course the coup de grace, this zipper here. I actually have a metal plate in here and 6 screws. So sometimes I don't always have the strength in my hands that you need to do really intricate punches. I also have a more experienced, seasoned stamper in my stamp group, and she also has trouble with her hands and punching out. And so I know how most people, when they use the punches that line up with our stamps, you basically can stamp it. I'll show you. We'll do that first. So I'm just going to show you using the black. A lot of times, how most people use it, and for most days, that's what I do as well. It's not my best stamped image, actually. And then you just line it up like this and punch it out. Now, this is a more intricate stamp. It actually takes a bit more work. I have one stamper who actually, she can't use it that way. And some of our bigger stamps, it's just really difficult. You have to do it like this. And that can be difficult when you're trying to line a punch up on this side and flip it over and get it straight. So one of the ways I do that is I go ahead and I will use the punch properly and punch it out. And then for my stamper, I'll go ahead, just a scratch piece of paper, you can see, and we'll tack it down like that so that it doesn't move. And then on my image sheet, go ahead and place the stamp like that. And then, so because this is tacked down, it's not going to move. I can line this up this way. You can see it's just where I want it to be. Bring in my T-square, like I like to call it. Take away my image sheet. Get my ink on my stamp again. So again, line it up, straight down and straight up, and perfect every time. So you can see, like, it's actually better than the one I lined up. Let's see. It's gone. Off to the recycling. But it's actually lined up better than the one I used. So that's a really, if you're very fussy or if you have trouble with the stamps, that's a good way to use the coordinating stamp and punch, is to go ahead and punch it, use the punch properly, and then tack it down with a little bit of Dotto, and go ahead and go in with your Stamp-A-Majig and do that. So that's a good way to use it. And then, so this is my, just a piece of scrap. I'm just going to show you how to do words so that it's your day. Again, you have your image sheet. You place it. So I want to make sure everybody's seeing me do that. So it goes flush in there. It has to be squared because that's what keeps it all in place. So it's squared in there. Straight down. So there's my template. And then on the sheet, if I wanted to do a whole line of the It's Your Days, you just put it on where you want it to be on your project. I could start it off the page, I could start it here. We'll just go like this. So again, you bring in your square, line it up how you want it to look, and say you wanted to do a whole runner of those. So you just come in with your T-square, line it up, with your image sheet. There, and you could actually do a runner. We'll do one more to show you that you could do a runner of it all the way across a page. So like if you were doing a border on a scrapbook page, if you were doing a border along the base of a card, it would look really super cute. And you could do it in different colors. It'd be really cute. And I've kind of gotten inspired. I might do the card like that. So you see what I mean? You can line it up. They go all across perfectly, and it's a good way to get nice even words on your projects, like in my Happy Boo to You or in the Warm Winter Wishes. Okay, so now you've seen the basics on how to use it. If you want to clean it, all I do to clean mine is I take a Kleenex and a little bit of Stampin' Mist on the Kleenex, and I just wipe it off. You could actually use water. I don't always have water on my craft table, whereas I always have Stampin' Mist, because my Stampin' Scrub is never far apart. There.
So we're going to be using the stamp set Snowflake Soiree to create our card today.
Let's do a card.
And I'm just picking 2 of the images from the stamp set and the word Believe. I'm going to stamp those images onto my image sheet so that we'll be able to use them later. And we're using Midnight Muse cardstock, and we're going to be doing some dry heat embossing. So we've cleaned off my stamps, and now we're using Versamark. And there's the Believe. We're going to stamp it and then emboss it in silver. Now I just use coffee filters because they are no static and it pours right back into the container, and they're a very inexpensive, easy tool to use. So we've set our believe there, and we've put in our snowflakes here, and I'm just going and placing them where I want them. We're going to be using a embossing mixture of white and dazzling diamonds. I've about a half a teaspoon of each mixed together, and when I'm done with this, I just fold up the filter with the powder inside, and I put it in a Ziploc bag and label what it is, and that way I can use it again. And I have several colors I've done that with. It comes out really well. A little bit of a brush just to get all the strays. I'm going to heat set that. And we're going to come in, you'll see me in just a second with a piece of glimmer paper, and I'm going to take the back off of the glimmer paper. You'll see where I've started it, just right there. And so I do that so that it works better in the punch, and this also helps it work better in our dies, especially if you're using it with a Sizzlet. It just punches easier. You don't have to do it if you're just cutting it, but if you're going to be punching, I find that that helps, and it peels very easily. A pair of scissors here, and I just cut them in half. I'm going to use my Tombow to adhere this skinny strip to the top and the bottom. Then I'll trim it with my paper scissors. The ribbon that we're going to be using here is the In Color Midnight Muse ribbon, and I'll be just tying it around. I don't really have a method to my knots. I definitely use the pull from the left, hold with the right, and generally I get a knot that I'm happy with. I'm going to punch with my jewelry tag punch, a punch in white, Midnight Muse, and the silver glimmer paper, and glue dots to put them all together and onto the card. I'm going to put it all up on Stampin' Dimensionals and adhere it to a Whisper White card base.
Alright, so I guess we're doing a card on the fly and not really messing with it and adjusting it. That will do. I'm kind of happy with that. I'll probably be making a few more. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned how to use your Stampin' Majig, and if you have any Stampin' Majig questions or questions about anything that I've done today, feel free to comment, subscribe, email me, go see me on my blog. I will have the blog directions for everything I did use on this card. So anyway, I look forward to talking to you soon. I do already have a video prepped for Friday. It's the third in our Friday feature on the stack cooker, and I hope you join me. Talk to you soon. Bye.